everyone, it's Andrea Curlis, the health coach for Tiller Hewitt Healthcare Strategies, with another Friday from the field. Well, guess what I'm going to do today? I know, think about it, think about it. Well, you know that March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. So, yep, you're right. I'm getting my colonoscopy. So, one of the things about getting a colonoscopy is that depending on what they find, you could go 5 years or 10 years. Well, mine's a 5 year. And the reason why mine's a 5 year is because not because of my age, it is because they actually found polyps when I actually did it. But here's the problem was I was really afraid about actually having it done. I was embarrassed. I know I talk about poop all the time and stuff. So people are like, what? You're embarrassed to get a colonoscopy? Well, I was. Even though I visited the docs all the time, it still just freaked me out about having that done. So I put the script on the shelf on my 50th because as a lot of you guys probably know that I normally do all my age appropriate screenings in my birth month. So then that way I always remember, mammogram, my annual well visit, get my annual blood work done. But when Stephanie Goshorn, my primary care doctor, a big shout out to her, gave me my script, I put it on the shelf. And I'm like, no way, man, I'm not doing that. Well, it wasn't until I had the opportunity to donate a kidney for my son. And one of the requirements was you had to have your routine colonoscopy. So guess what? It was time to actually take it off the shelf, conquer my fear, because my son was much more important than my fear. I was going to get it done. Well, lo and behold, that was 5 years after the fact. And unfortunately, they did find polyps, which almost took me totally out of the game of being able to donate my kidney. But thank goodness they were not cancerous. They were able to remove it. But with that, instead of going a 10-year plan, now I'm on a 5-year plan. But here's the professional side of this message. Because remember, when I come on site now or come to you for Friday the Fields, there's a personal and then there's a professional. So the personal side is I want you to start listening to your body, do your age-appropriate screenings. And remember, your age-appropriate screening for colorectal cancer is at the age of 45. Now they've moved that, so it used to be 50, actually it used to be 55, then went to 50, now went to 45, because 53,000 Americans are dying every year from colorectal cancer, and it's one that can actually be prevented if we learn to listen to our bodies. So when you have a disruption in your bowels, you are losing weight, and it's not changing at all. You have a family history of it. This is when we need to be having those, really conversations, those hard conversations with our PCP, and to get that referral out. Now, you guys have been in offices for years and years. We should be having those conversations just as we visit the offices. So with that though, so I'm going today, got all cleaned out. It's a great way to lose a couple pounds right off the bat. And I'm going to have my preventative because now I should be all cleaned out and everything's fine. But it also gives me the opportunity as a professional side. What happened is during the pandemic, because remember, mine should have been in November, but we weren't doing any types of preventative care during that time. Our surgery centers weren't even open. Well, now they're open and they're hungry. They need our business. So I need for you guys to get out and start driving that by reaching out to your primary care doctors, finding out who maybe is ready to have it. Let them know that we're in business, taking out that information, how easy it is to get set up. Because again, our general surgeons and our docs are hungry. So let's feed them. Now, one way to feed them is you. So I want you to make sure that you're doing all the age appropriate screenings that apply to you. But my true message is this: start listening to your body. Your body sends you signals all the time that there's something going on. We just fail to listen to it. So again, if you're finding anything that is out of the ordinary, or that you have now a family history of, please make sure that you reach out. So a lot of you guys maybe know some of our stories, with our family. My nephew has just conquered a huge milestone. He actually had colorectal cancer and he had it removed. And by the grace of God, he's doing so well, but he's 25. Now, he's turned 26 in December, but when he was first diagnosed, he was 25. Because he's not the norm. He's not the norm. Normally an older person ends up getting it. There's a genetic gene or the DNA. Well, none of that happened with my nephew. It was all lifestyle and based off of actually all of the signs and symptoms were there. He just didn't know what he didn't know. So it's up to us to make sure that we're having those conversations with our friends and our family and get out there and get checked. What a better way? Tiller Hewitt puts out a monthly calendar every single month that highlights all the awarenesses within that month. So even if you just follow that calendar with your friends and families, and then of course within your docs and at the hospital, then you're always going to be ahead of the game. So get out there, spread the word. March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. It's the best nap ever. I feel amazing afterwards. And plus, I lost a few pounds, so let's hope I can keep it off. So again, hey, you guys have a wonderful month, and I will see you the next time from Friday from the Field. Bye-bye, guys.